Hello students, welcome to online class. Today we'll discuss about intellectual property right, licensing of software, cyber law and cyber crime. Let's start. So intellectual property right, which is actually known as IP, is a property created by a person or a group of persons using their own intellect for ultimate use in commerce and which is already not available in the public domain. Example of IP property which are an invention relating to a product or any process, a new design, a literary or artistic work, and a trademark. What is trademark? A word or a symbol, or it can be a logo also. Intellectual property right is the statutory right granted by the government to the owner or the owners of the intellectual property or applicant of an intellectual property to exclude others from exploiting the IP commercially for a given period of time in lieu of the disclosure of his or her IP in an IPR application. Our next point is, why should an IP be protected? IP is an asset and can be exploited by the owner for commercial gain any manner. IP owner may intend to stop other from manufacturing and selling the same product and services which are duly protected by him. IP owner can sell and or license the IP for commercial gain. IP can be used to establish the goodwill and brand value in the market. IP can be mentioned in resumes of its creator and thus show competence of its creator. IPR certificate establishes legal and valid ownership about an intellectual property. So these are the reason why should an IP be. Kind of IP. Number one is patent. To protect technologies, the Patent Act is applicable. Next is trademark. To protect word, sign, logo, label, that is for Trademark Act. Next one is design. To protect the outer ornamental configuration, the Design Act. Next option is geographical indication, that is for GI. To protect region specific product, the Geographical Indications of Goods Act. Next is copyright. To protect literacy and artistic work, and it is known as the IPRs are protected in accordance with the provisions of legislation of a country specific. In India, IPRs can be protected and monopolized as per the Act. Some of them are: number 1, the Patent Act 1970; number 2, the Designs Act 2000; number 3, the Trademark Act 1999; number 4, the Geographical Indications of Goods Act 1999; number 5, the Copyright Act 1957; number 6, Protection of Integrated Circuits Layout and Design Act 2000; number 7, Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Right Act 2001; and also the Trade. Plagiarism. Our next topic. Plagiarism is the act of presenting the words, ideas, image, sound, or the creative expression of others as it is your creation on your own. The word plagiarism is derived from the Latin word plagiar, which means to kidnap or abduct. Why is it important to understand plagiarism? Plagiarism is stealing of intellectual property. Plagiarism is one kind of cheating. Plagiarism is an academic offense. Plagiarism is academic theft. Types of plagiarism. We are having two different types of plagiarism. Number one, intentional, and second one, unintentional. In case of intentional plagiarism, it comes as copying others' work, borrowing or buying assignments, cast paste from electronic resources, downloading essays, text from the internet, and presenting as our own work. And in case of unintentional plagiarism, not knowing how to acknowledge or incorporate sources of information through proper paraphrasing, summarizing, and quotation. careless copying or cutting and pasting from electronic databases, quoting excessively, failure to use our own voice. This will come under unintentional plagiarism. How to avoid plagiarism? The most important part: use your own ideas, cite the sources when someone else's ideas are used. Always acknowledge the sources and tell your reader where the ideas are from. Rewrite others' ideas in your own words. Take careful notes. Develop your writing skill. These are the few points which we need to develop to avoid plagiarism. Next, digital rights management, which is commonly known as DRM. DRM is a scheme that controls access to copyrighted material using technological means. It means applying technology on copyrighted material in such a way that it can be used or it remain in read-only mode, but further production copying is restricted. Second point is how digital rights management works. Most general digital rights management includes some codes that prohibit copying or codes that limit the time or number of devices a certain product can be accessed. Publishers, authors, or content creators use an application that encrypts ebook content, data, software, media, or any other copyrighted material. Only those with the description keys can access the material. Different ways to protect your content, software, or product. So, first, restrict or prevent users from editing, saving, sharing, forwarding our content. Second, restriction from printing. Example, some document or artwork may only be printed up to a limited number of times. Third one, restriction of screenshot capture. Next, set an expiry date on your document or media after which the user will no longer be able to access it or opening of any document for fixed limited time. Next option is lock through IP address, means media accessible in India or any other country cannot be accessed in any other country also. Watermark or artwork and documents in order to establish ownership and identity. Watermark would be a good choice to prevent this thing. Challenges of digital right management. Another interesting thing. Not everybody agrees with digital right management. For instance, user who pay for music on specific app would love to be able to listen to the song on any devices or use it in whatever way they wish. Benefits of digital right management. It educates users about copyright and intellectual property. It helps make way for better licensing agreements and technologies. It helps authors retain ownership of their work. It helps protect income stream. It helps secure file and keep them private. Our next point is licensing. A software license is a document that provides legally binding guideline to the person who holds it for the user and distribution of software. It typically provides end users with the right to make one or more copies of the software without violating copyrights. It also defines the responsibilities of the parties entering into the license agreement and may impose restriction on how the software can be used. Software licensing terms and conditions usually include fair use of the software, the limitations of liability, warranties, and disclaimers and protections. Benefits of using licensed software. Using unlicensed software against the law. The right software license can save our money. We can receive around the clock license support. These are the feature or benefit we can get at the time of using licensed software. Next point is Creative Commons, which is actually known as CC. So CC is an internationally active non-profit organization to provide free licenses for creators to use it when making their work available to the public in advance under certain conditions. Every time a work is created, such as when a journal or article is written or a photograph taken, that work is automatically protected by copyright. Copyright protectio prevents others from using the work in certain way, such as copying the work or putting the work online. CC licenses allow the creator of the work to select how they want others to use the work. When a creator releases their work under a CC license, members of the public know what they can and cannot do with the work. This means that they only need to seek the creator's permission when they want to use the work in a way not permitted by the license. The great thing is that all CC licenses allow works to be used for educational purposes. As a result, teachers and students can freely copy, share, and sometimes modify and remix a CC work without having seeking the permission of the creator. It is applicable only for teacher and students. The pros of using a Creative Commons license. Our work will be freely available online and people can share and use as per permissions applied on creative work. Further improvement in creative work, especially for open source code, is possible if permission is given. Our original copyright is protected and can be modified within the parameters of the Creative Commons licensing regime. The cons of using a Creative Commons license. We cannot revoke a Creative Commons license once given. Only subsequent uses will not be permitted. If someone profits from our work, provided we have not given a non-commercial license attribute license, we cannot ask for the compensation of a license fee. The copyright of derivative work can be ambiguous. If someone uses your work to develop a new work and their updated work is substantially different, there is an argument that the initial Creative Commons license no longer applies. So think fast before attaching a Creative Commons license to work. These are the few points needs to remember at the time of making Creative Commons license. GPL, actually full form General Public License. So GPL is the most commonly used free software license written by Richard Stallman in 1989 of Free Software Foundation for GNU project. This license allows software to be freely used, means freedom for use, not price-wise free, modified and redistributed by anyone. WordPress is also an example of software released under the GPL license. That's why it cannot be used, modified, and extended by anyone. Core values of GPL software are anyone can download and run the software, anyone can modify it, anyone can redistribute free copies of the software, anyone can distribute modified version of the software. One of the primary aspects of the GPL is copyleft. Copyleft is a play on the word copyright but with similar concept. Means some protection is applied over the software developed over the GPL software. For this reason, any work based on WordPress inherits the GPL license. The GPL itself is under the copyright ownership of the Free Software Foundation, which is in short known as FSF, a tax-exempted charity organization founded by Stallman's GNU project in order to generate funding for free software development. Advantages of publishing software under GPL. Regular feedback from the users help in the development of software in new areas. Open source software aids to the free development of several other open source software. It will get technical support from the developers community. The cost of software maintenance will be reduced as the volunteers increase. Bugs can be identified easily as the number of people work on it increases. It is fast copyleft license create for the open source community. Open source product itself will tempt the user to try and use it. Here are the disadvantage of using the GPL license. If GPL license product is used in any commercial product, then the entire product has to be released as open source. Most of the companies set a ban to use GPL product. Lots of people are not aware of the stringent term of GPL. It's extremely viral. If your project contains a component that contains a component, then whole project is subjected to GPL2. The Apache license is a free and open source software licensing agreement from the Apache Software Foundation. Beginning in 1995, the Apache Group, later the Apache Software Foundation, this initial license was essentially the same as the old BSD license. Apache did likewise and created the Apache License Volume 1.1, a slight variation on the modified BSD license. In 2004, Apache decided to depart from the BSD model a little more radically and produce the Apache License Volume 2. The main feature of the Apache licenses are copy, modify, and distributed the covered software in source and or binary form. Exercise patent right that would normally only extend to the license provided that all copies, modified or unmodified, are accompanied by a copy of the license. All modifications are clearly marked as being the work of the modifier. All notices of copyright, trademark, and patent right are reproduced accurately in distributed copies. Open source. In general, open source means any program whose source code is made available publicly for use or modification as users or other developers see fit. Open source software is usually made freely available. The following criteria must be met for open source software. Source code must be included. Anyone must be allowed to modify the source code. Modified version can be redistributed. The license must not require the exclusion of other. In general, open source means any program whose source code is made available publicly for use or modification as users or other developers see fit. Open source software is usually made freely available. Following criteria must be met for open source. Source code must be included. Anyone must be allowed to modify the source code. Modified versions can be redistributed. The license must not require the exclusion of other. Example of open source software: as operating system Linux Ubuntu, as DBMS MySQL MongoDB, as programming language Java PHP Python, as internet browsers web server, that is Chromium, Firefox, Apache, HTTP server, or Apache Tomcat. Open data is data which can be accessed, used, and shared by anyone to bring about social, economic, and environmental benefits. Open data becomes usable when made available in a common machine readable format. Following criteria must be met for open data: must be licensed to permit people to use and share. It should not have limitation to use in any form. It must be free to use, but cost should be reasonable. It can be reused and redistributed. Open government data refers to the information collected, produced, or paid for by the public bodies, means PSI, and made freely available for use for any other purpose. The five basic principles of open data decided in G8 summit in 2013 are: open data by default should be in quality and in quality as well, usable by all, release data for improved governance, release data for innovation. Privacy law or privacy. So, privacy is the aspect of information technology which deals with the ability of organization or individual to determine what data in a computer system can be shared with the third parties. Privacy law. So, in privacy law, regulations that protect a person or organization's data private and governs collection, storage, and release of his or her financial, medical, and other personal information to third party. Classification of privacy law. General privacy laws that have an overall bearing on the personal information of individual. Specific privacy laws that are designed to regulate specific types of information. Example: communication privacy laws, financial privacy laws, health privacy laws, information privacy laws, online privacy laws, privacy in one's home. Why privacy matter? Number one, to limit on power of company who hold data. Number two, to respect for individual. Number three, to maintain appropriate social boundaries. Number four, to maintain freedom of thought and speech of person whom data belong. And number five, to maintain freedom of social and political activities of person whom data belong. Privacy laws threat. Number one, web tracking. Number two, data collection. Number three, lack of security. Number four, connected everything. Number five, public Wi-Fi. Number six, government spying. And number seven, social networking. These are the threats of privacy law. Privacy law. The Indian Information Technology Act 2000 deals with the issue relating to payment of compensation and punishment in case of wrongful disclosure and misuse of personal data and violation of contractual terms in respect of personal data. Case number 1. Under Section 43A of the Indian Information Technology Act 2000, a body corporate who is possessing, dealing, or handling any sensitive personal data or information, the government has notified the Information Technology Rules 2011. The rules only deals with potential of sensitive personal data of information of a person, which includes such personal information which consists of information relating to. Second is password. Number three, financial information such as bank account or credit card or debit card or other payment instrument details. Next, physical, psychological, and mental health condition. Next, medical records and history. And next, biometric information. Second one, under Section 72A of the Indian Information Technology Act 2000, disclosure of information knowingly and intentionally without the consent of the person concerned and in breach of the lawful contract is punishable with imprisonment for a term extending to 3 years and fine extending to rupees 5 lakh. Fraud. Computer fraud is using a computer and or internet to take or alter electronic data or to gain unlawful use of a computer internet. Illegal computer activities include phishing, social engineering, viruses, and DDoS attack. Cybercrime. Any crime that involves a computer and a network is called a computer crime or cybercrime. Both are same. Or in other terms, it is a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime for hacking, phishing, or spamming, or is used as a tool to commit an offense. Steps to protect yourself against cybercrime. Make sure your security software is current. and up to date regularly. Lock or log off your computer when you step away. Go offline when you don't need an internet connection. Consider sharing less online. Think twice about using public Wi Fi. When in doubt, do not click. Phishing is a cyber attack that uses disguised email as a weapon. The attackers masquerade as a trusted entity of some kind. The goal is to trick the email recipient into believing that the message is something they want or need. Recipient fields or send sensitive information like their account number, username, password, etc. Then attacker use this. Now the important thing, how to prevent this phishing. Always check the spelling of the URLs before click on it. Watch out for URL redirect that send to a different website with identical design. If receive an email from that seems suspicious, contact that source with a new email rather than just hitting reply. Do not post personal data like your birthday, vacation plan, or your address or phone number publicly on social media. Illegal downloading is obtaining files or computer resources that we do not have the right to use from the internet. Copyright laws prohibit internet users from obtaining copies of media that we do not legally purchase. The laws exist to prevent digital piracy, much of which is generally conducted through internet file sharing. How to prevent illegal downloading? Movie piracy has actually decreased significantly through BitTorrent and other trackable methods as the adoption curve of Netflix streaming options has increased. The answer there is simple: make it cheaper and easier to access media in a legal manner, and more people will utilize those paths than the illegal path. With the growth of online services and internet use, there are many opportunities for criminals to commit scams and fraud. These are dishonest schemes that seek to take advantage of unsuspecting people to gain a benefit. These are often contained in spam and phishing message. Common type of online scams include unexpected price scam, unexpected money scam, dating or romance scam, threats and extortion scam, jobs and investment scam, and identity theft. Do not respond to online scams or fraud. If you receive an email or SMS which look like a scam, then the best thing to do is to delete it. It is the best solution for the online scam, and this is the one and only way to prevent this. Cyber forensics is a way or an electronic discovery technique which is used to determine and reveal technical criminal evidence. Various capabilities of cyber forensics are computer forensics, computer exam, data analysis, database study, malware analysis, mobile devices, network analysis, photography, and video analysis. Cyber forensics is a way or an electronic discovery or technique which is used to determine and reveal technical criminal evidence. Various capabilities of cyber forensics are computer forensics, computer exam, data analysis, database study, malware analysis, mobile devices, network analysis, photography, and video analysis. Information Technology Act 2000, that means IT Act 2000, provides legal recognition to transactions done via an electronic exchange of data and other electronic means of communication or electronic commerce transaction. Some of section under IT Act 2000 are given below. So under section 67A, publishing image containing sexual act, penalty will be imprisonment up to 7 years or and fine up to rupees 1 crore. Under section 67B, publishing child porn or predating children online, so imprisonment up to 5 years or and with fine to rupees 1 crore on first conviction, imprisonment up to 7 years or and with fine up to rupees 1 crore on second conviction. Under Section 67C of IT Act 2000, failure to maintain record, imprisonment up to 3 years or and with a fine. 68 under section, failure or refusal to comply with order, imprisonment up to 3 years or and with a fine up to rupees 2 lakh. 69 failure or refusal to decrypt data, imprisonment up to 7 years and possible fine. Under section 70, securing access or attempting to secure access to a protected system, imprisonment up to 10 years or and with a fine. Under section 71, misrepresentation, imprisonment up to 3 years or and with a fine up to rupees 1 lakh. So these are the IT Act 2000 sections, the reason and the penalty. Thank you for watching my video. Please like it and watch it.